Hi, welcome to Road Bike Culture. I'm your host, Kevin Isley. Today, we're going to talk about my one-year review of the Rapha Cycling Club. Rapha, developed in 2004 by Simon Mottram as a way to create exclusive cycling apparel for the cyclist who cares about fashion. After he launched the brand, years later, he developed the Rapha Cycling Club, otherwise known as the RCC, has 23 clubhouses worldwide, and they are located in places like the United States, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Being a member of the RCC gives you exclusive access to the clubhouses and their special events. They have a lot of RCC events that are really pretty cool to go to. Plus, it gives you 4 days prior notice to any sale that Rapha has. And have you noticed when you go to buy an item on Rapha's website during a sale, all of your sizes are sold out? That's because the RCC members have taken up the good sizes. So why did I join the RCC? Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted to make a video about the RCC and what it's like to be in it. But the second reason is my wife and I were planning a trip to Berlin and I wanted to rent a bike. So I researched renting bikes in Berlin. So while researching bike rentals in Berlin, I found a website called Aspire Cycling, and they had a 3-day rental of the same canyon that Rapha offers for $180 for 3 days. I don't know if they do it for 1 day, but that breaks down to $60 a day. I talked to my wife about it and she said, why don't you join the Rapha Cycling Club? They have a clubhouse in Berlin. So I decided to join. So when I joined the Rapha Cycling Club, I gave them $200 and they gave me a Rapha Cycling Club packet. And it came a lot of swag, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, stuff I really just never used. But I got a pretty cool patch. And I was supposed to get a Rapha Cycling Club member card, which I never got over the course of a year. I'm kind of sad about that. By being a cycling club member, you get free coffee every day at the clubhouses. So between San Francisco, New York, and Berlin, I drank 22 cups of coffee, or hot chocolate for my son, or tea for my wife. And the average price for each cup of coffee is about $4 in all of the Rapha clubs. So that equals $88 saving off of my $200. Then I rented a bike for $25 in Berlin, and that saved me $30 from Aspire Cycling, which brought my price down to $87 for a 1-year membership, which I think is a pretty good deal. I did spend $400 on a Rapha Cycling Club kit, and I did spend $60 on an RCC cycling wallet. Yes, I live in San Francisco, and there is an RCC clubhouse in San Francisco, but it is not conveniently located to where I live. Originally, with the RCC membership, you got a magazine every month called Mondial. But they scaled that back pretty early on, so I never got the magazine. And in 2017, they sold the majority stock of their company to RZC, which is an investment company that is founded by the Walton brothers of Walmart. Since that's a giant investment company from a very wealthy family, they have a lot of bean counters, and the bean counter started counting all the beans. And since then, Rapha has started scaling back on all of its amenities to even cancel the Rapha travel. As much as I liked being a part of the Rapha Cycling Club, I loved the app, I loved hearing about upcoming events. I went to one RCC event where it was hosted by Carl Bird. He was poached from Specialized to Rapha to develop their brand new cycling shoe. Since joining, I went on one RCC ride here in San Francisco and I got dropped. Let me tell you, the RCC ride in San Francisco is a hammerfest. In Berlin, I rented my bike and I went on one RCC ride there, and that was a really fun, enjoyable ride. And I thought those guys were great, and I thought Lexi, the clubhouse manager or the ride guy, did a phenomenal job of explaining to me where I was, and he took me under the Brandenburg Gate, which I thought was really cool. So that's one really cool aspect of the Rapha Cycling Club. But when my year came up, did I renew? No. Because I'm not planning any vacations over the next year where there's a Rapha Cycling Club that I can rent a bike. I thought the coffee that they had was very good, but it was incredibly out of my way, so I didn't get enough coffee. So I came up with a couple categories for who the cycling club would be good for. The first category is if you live in a city that has a clubhouse and you live in a good proximity to that clubhouse that you can get a cup of coffee at least once a week, you would do a good job buying a Rapha Cycling Club membership. But if you don't live within the proximity of the clubhouse that makes it convenient to get a cup of coffee, you're wasting a lot of gas in your car, or you're putting on a lot of extra miles just to get a cup of coffee. The second group that this is good for is somebody moving to a city that has a Rapha Cycling Club house. Because chances are in that city you don't know anybody, you don't know the roads, you have nobody to ride with, so you would be immersing yourself into a community, and the Rapha Cycling Club is a great community. You will meet a lot of people, they will take you on good rides, and over time you will develop your own community around your cycling in that new town. This is something that is almost priceless. I can't recommend this for those people enough. The next category of people is people who travel a lot for business or pleasure, and you are traveling to cities that have a Rapha Cycling Club. Because you can go, you can rent your bike, you can find somebody to take you on a bike ride, or at least they will give you a map of what ride to take. The next group of people is the people who are going to buy a lot of cycling apparel in the next year, and you want to get a lot of sales. Because of the 4-day advance notice that Rapha gives to its RCC members, you can get really good deals on the size that you want. But remember, you would have to buy 4 things over the year with a savings of $50 each minimum just to break even for that $200 entry into the advance notice of the sales. And finally, the last category of people I think the RCC would be good for is people who love Rapha, who love what they present, what they stand for, and what they believe in. And you want to be a part of it, you love their clothes, and you want to get information from the inside. But if you don't travel a lot to rent the bikes, and if you don't live near a clubhouse to get the coffee, you are really just paying to be a member and a little bit of an insider. Well, I think that just about covers it. What I think about the RCC, and is it a value for you? And as always, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Instagram. And until the next time, I hope to see you out there on the road.